we trust the lamb, not the donkey or the elephant.
I think that law that you brought up is revealing, because somebody could get beaten up very badly, be in the hospital, broken bones, maybe even concussions, things even worse perhaps. But we know that those bones can heal,
Mhm.
but it takes a lot longer for someone who is sexually assaulted to heal emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, from that assault, sexual assault. And so, yeah, we intuitively know that's a worse crime, even though we try to tell ourselves in other areas, no, this is just physical and there's nothing more to it than that. What about sex inside of marriage versus cohabitation? Because we know that uh, marriage rates are declining. People are getting married later. There are more and more people who are living together. And one of the reasons they live together is because they're comfortable having sexual relations outside of marriage. And so why not? But also there's this idea that, we're going to see if we're sexually compatible. So
Mhm.
what is the research? What does your own practical ministry experience and clinical work tell you about couples and who are living together, cohabitating versus marriage? How does that affect their sex life?
Yeah, well, there is a fair amount of sociological research on this. A guy named Brad Wilcox has done a lot of research, and others have looked into the difference between cohabitation and marriage. A lot of what they find is that couples that cohabit, even if they end up getting married, have higher rates of things like domestic violence and infidelity and divorce long term. And so saying that, hey, we're going to try this out because it gives us a better chance at happiness in marriage isn't proving to be true in the research. And then, our job is to kind of say, okay, well, why is that? At a face value level, we could say, well, that's not God's design. And a lot of people don't understand why it's not God's design. But part of understanding it is that what's unique about marriage is that marriage is based on a promise that I'm not going anywhere, that I'm committed to this relationship. And the way God created a marriage to be is what you might call a covenant. It's different from a contract. So a contract is saying, hey, as long as you're happy and I'm happy, as long as you do what you said you would do and I do what I said I'd do, like things are good. But as soon as one party becomes dissatisfied, then a contract can be dissolved. And unfortunately, this is the way that a lot of people view marriage, but it's really true with cohabitation. The reason you don't want to get married is because you don't want a long-term commitment. You're trying it out. And the trying it out of cohabitation creates a consumer mentality. So it creates also a performance basis of connection. So even sexually, like as long as you're meeting my sexual needs, we'll continue to cohabit. But as soon as our sex life falls off or we have too much conflict, we agree to go our separate ways. Whereas in marriage, marriage is starting with this fundamental understanding that, hey, we're in this together. Like you're going to bring your baggage in, I'm going to bring my baggage in. We're going to face conflict, we're going to have some disappointments. But the beauty of marriage is I have somebody who has promised to work it out with me instead of bailing. And so what the research is showing is that when you cohabit before you get married, you're actually sliding into commitment instead of deciding that you're committed. And couples, again, will bring in more that consumer mentality or that performance fear of, hey, I'm not going to show you who I really am because I'm afraid you're going to leave. So we have to perform for each other. So that's some of what researchers are saying will lead to overall kind of less stability in a relationship that even begins with cohabitation rather than one that really from the get-go is saying, hey, we're gonna hold off on living together, we're gonna hold off on sexual expression until we actually make that covenant.
I'm Patrick. Thanks for watching this video. If you're passionate about ending tribalism in the church and giving Jesus your allegiance, you're not alone. We have a podcast and a book. They're both called Truth Over Tribe. You can download the podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You can buy the book on Amazon. I hope you'll check them out.